Hello, welcome to GameTrailers' newest show where we talk about beards and anime. What do you guys think about Attack on Titan? It's pretty good. No, this is Invisible Walls, and I have Jeremy Hoffman and Marcus Beer, who are also on our new kind of, Pop Culture Clash show, which is actually taping right after this, so you may see some similar t-shirts unless there's a...
Jeremy and I
didn't bring a wardrobe change.
Jeremy and I are just going to swap. Let's always swap t-shirts.
And then rub beards.
Cigarettes and...
I'll smell like barbecue and cookies.
Yeah, I made cookies. I actually got up early this morning and made cookies. So.
Google Jeremy Hoffman Cheez-Its and you'd be surprised.
He's legendary.
But these guys were at QuakeCon last week, so I figured that'd be a good kind of jumping off point where they saw the Carmack Insanity, got to see the same demo for Evil Within that you saw at E3.
I actually didn't
stick around either
it was the same.
because it was identical. Yeah, there was no behind closed doors.
And
stuff.
check out what QuakeCon was traditionally id, but now since Bethesda ZeniMax bought out id, it's kind of grown into a slightly bigger thing. It's still very community driven. Bring your own computer is still probably the biggest draw.
Oh, it was
from
awesome.
that thing.
Yeah,
the tiny expo.
Just under 3,000 people, I think, this year in the BYOC. So it was.
Yeah, and
it's still free, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Except the worst part's it's in Dallas in the summer.
It was 103 when we landed at midnight on Wednesday, and I felt like I got hit in the face as I walked out of the plane.
So what was the biggest takeaway from you guys?
Dallas is hot.
Oh, okay. But how about from QuakeCon?
Carmack approves of Google Glass.
Oh, okay. And now he's the CTO of
Oculus Rift.
Which led to some confusion. People thought he left id, but I mean, he's just kind of wearing a bigger hat.
If any person on the planet can juggle 3 CTO jobs, because he also has Armadillo as well.
Yeah.
It's John Carmack. I mean, I'm sure he is already,
Which one's Armadillo?
The spaceship.
Oh, the
rocket,
Project
right?
X thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's CTO on all these 3 things, but the guy is so smart. I mean, he probably does stuff for work in his sleep. I mean, it's just incredible.
You're assuming he sleeps.
Assuming he sleeps. Do cyborgs sleep? Do cyborgs dream of electric sheep?
Blade Runner.
Thank you.
Pop culture.
Yeah.
God damn it, guys. We're only going to talk about video games.
But no, look.
And anime and beards.
Let's start with the BYOC. Do we get B-roll footage? Can people see the BYOC over here?
I did. I walked around and got B-roll footage.
Yeah, because I got to say.
So what you're seeing right now is B-roll footage at the BYOC.
Awesome.
Well, I can't see it. In the biz, we like to call B-roll.
Yeah. But yeah, the BYOC was fantastic. Almost 3,000 people. And I got to say that when people, bitch and moan about all sort of hating or whatever that goes on in video games, walk into one of these events. There was men, women, boys, girls, all ages, different, from small laptops to elaborate lit rigs. Everybody was just playing, having a blast, calling each other out in a fun way, drinking lots of energy drinks. So I think, early onset diabetes is probably something that you get from QuakeCon. But no, that was fantastic. Just seeing all the different rigs. And
really cool case mods were there. There was a Star Wars one that was the Battle of Hoth.
It was a Hoth diorama inside the PC. Cool. There was one that was basically an ice cube and had running water as part of the cooling system, so it looked like it was melting. Yep. That was cool.
The boombox, the 80s style boombox that was built, the whole computer was built into it.
A Ghetto Blaster?
Yeah.
Ghetto Blaster, if you will.
I saw one that was actually a old style, the old style, so was it TRS-80s? Mm-hmm. Where you'd have the monitor 80s. Built in, and there was also a little phone there as well, plugged in, a la modem style. That was really cool. There was one that was basically, it looked like, honestly, an old refrigerator, the low glass top refrigerators, but they customized it to look like an NES joypad.
Yes.
It's bring your own computer. It's really unstructured. People are just setting up LAN parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, lots of Borderlands,
and then
lots of League,
Tomb Raider,
and then the rest of QuakeCon. There's a little expo hall where some people, I'm sure, some hardware manufacturers.
And there's lots of T-shirts and stuff.
Bethesda is now using this as a way to kind of promote their games. I know they had some troubles with their live streams. I know you guys did 2 bonus rounds, 1.5 bonus rounds out there.
2 bonus rounds, one that aired live.
Did they both have audiences?
Panel. Yep.
Oh, okay,
no,
cool.
well, I mean, the second one was a taped one for
the site.
For the site that'll be running this weekend, and people stuck around.
And you got to check out some of the stuff they're showing off.
We got to play, I think, all You played all the games. I mean,
Yeah, all three
games.
games, and then in that little sort of like exhibitor section, they actually had Rise of the Triad, which was
just came
launching.
out, yeah.
That had a good reception.
Takedown,
Recoil,
Yep.
and then lots of moddy type stuff. And Jeremy spent a lot of time buying T-shirts and hoodies and
It was
stuff
one
like
hoodie,
that.
one T-shirt.
Yeah, well, you spent enough money to get a free Skyrim Deluxe bloody monster walkthrough guide.
Just because you didn't buy your statue that you were tempted to buy.
Oh, my wife would have killed me if I'd have come home with that. It was bad
After
enough.
Comic-Con?
It was bad
Yeah.
enough that Mikey Newman convinced me to go to Amazon.com and buy Star Wars. Guess who?
Yes.
Because obviously,
mystery game.
with the Borderlands crew being out
Do you
there,
smell like a tauntaun?
we but yes, let's talk about the actual games
So
that
wait, so
Bethesda
Elder
had.
Scrolls. Did you guys see the new Dishonored
Yes.
DLC?
Yes.
Like more
which is the
witches.
to be continued. You're
Yep.
playing as Assassin Fuckface, not Corvo, the other guy. I forget his name.
That's
I
actually
like the- I
that's
forget
actually his name,
name.
Assassin Fuckface.
No, I forget the guy's name. Which is bad because I love I thought the DLC was great with the kind of the pause while you blink thing, but I was a little concerned that they kind of split the story into two sections. Seemed a little weird. And did it seem like they were kind of adding anything new to Dishonored at this point?
I actually hadn't even played the first part of the DLC
Okay.
because I was like, I'm gonna wait till the second one comes
Yeah.
out and play it all together.
Did you see the witches? What's it, the Brigmore witches?
Which
is it?
is yeah.
I saw a bit of the Brigmore bitches as we all that's
Sexist.
the name that was the name that was given to them, not by me but one of the female producers. Thank you very much.
You're off the hook.
Yeah, on the hooks later, isn't it?
Oh God.
Yes, I know. But no, you see one of them out of the corner of your eye a few times. They're almost like stalking you. As you see this one, she'll sort of like watch and then teleport and disappear. I got to admit, I didn't play the first batch of the DLC either, and it's been a few months. And having played Dishonored on PC, then going to play the PC version that they had, but it was all set up with controllers. It took me half an hour to really
remap your brain.
Yeah, to really get into it. And so for the first half an hour, I'm killing everything until I've sort of like figured out how to, get my blinks going and chaining. And then I finally got into it. It feels like more Dishonored, which is never a bad thing. It feels like it's just late in the day. I mean, it is 7 or 8 months, 9 months, 10 months even. And I think
I can see that.
That's the only
didn't
downside.
Bethesda put out that what was that game? They put out the Rage DLC like 2 years after the game came out or something.
It was
like
a
that.
while, yeah. I mean, I think there's some new stuff. They have some new. There's like the pull power was new, and they had a couple other little things that augment like the bone charms. There's now corrupt ones that.
The corrupt bone charms are actually fun.
Yeah, so it's like there's one where
Example?
it's like they have like super good rewards, but like they hurt you as well. So one was you could, if you're not moving, you're completely invisible, but you don't regenerate mana back.
Okay.
So you could like blink into the middle of a group of guards, and as long as you're standing still.
So there's a good thing and a bad thing.
Bad
It's
thing.
like
I like that.
it's like the monkey paw from the episode of The Simpsons where it gives you 3 wishes, but they're all cursed.
I'm so glad The Simpsons came up with that idea.
That was fantastic. But yeah, that actually works. It is the AI seems pretty smart as usual. The fact that once you get into it, and I actually found it interesting to watch a lot of people who were there who hadn't actually played Dishonored. This came up a lot with people who I think were more interested in more used to playing Call of Duty or the more straightforward shooters. They didn't seem to know what to do. They honestly seemed flummoxed by the fact that I can climb a pipe, I can go through this little vent. What am I
First
supposed to
person
do here?
verticality is pretty rare.
Yeah,
So,
more of it.
No, the biggest game was probably Elder Scrolls, but real quick, any Doom 4 anything?
Nope.
Did they even mention it during the keynote?
Nope.
Okay, so that's in 4 years we've gotten a logo.
Yep.
Okay, just curious. I mean,
I think
God, remember the hype for Doom 3?
Yes.
Not the game, just the hype.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing it
Yeah.
up. Rage got hype too, but just
I would say
bringing
that
it up.
it was probably one of those ones that may have been on schedule to be there, but then
Well, there was a quote, like I know there were some Carmack interviews, and there was a quote that Doom 4 is the only game it is working on.
yeah.
But I was just curious if anything else had come out of that.
nothing official.
Okay.
We have a bunch of comments we can take out of context. Do comments at 4:30 in the morning at the hotel bar count?
Doom backwards is
No.
mood.
No comment.
No comment.
So I think if you guys would humor me, I think we can talk about Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
And kind of work that into the reveal of also EverQuest Next.
Do you want to talk about Wolfenstein first?
I don't, but I guess you do.
Well,
I don't. I feel like
well-
Wolfenstein has shown. I thought Wolfenstein not. shown poorly. I'm not saying it is a poor game. I think it's been shown poorly at E3.
We got a different demo this time around, different hands-on. We actually got to play with one of the prequel scenes before the credits kick in, and then the first scene directly afterwards. And I got to say, the game has potential. It does feel. I mean, you know, you start off and you know you're outside this big castle, and you have to go and get Von Death's dickhead or whatever his name is, and there's a lot. Death face.
Hitler.
Yeah, but there are some interesting things in there. You get an example of some of the divergent pathways that can happen. You know, there's a section where, you know, you got to choose who dies. Is it this guy or is it this guy? You go one way, you unlock a different set of characters further down the line, and you go another way, vice versa, with the abilities and stuff.
Well, even like the old hidden rooms, there was like a nice moment where you know, I went up and I pulled a torch, and it opens up a painting that you could.
Is there
come
treasure?
through. There's treasure, but also like, you know, all of a sudden now you're above the room and you could kill a bunch of guys.
So it's
and
levels,
shoot
but
through.
kind of non-linear levels, like a la like a BioShock or something like that.
I'd say the majority they're 90% linear, but there are secret.
Offshoot.
You know, there's
Yeah.
the old school little secret.
Yeah.
You know, sections that are kind of fun. And then, you know,
Did you guys do the cut your own cover? Have you done? Wait, was it hands-on or shown to you?
hands on.
Hands on.
Did you guys get to bring out the blowtorch thing?
No.
Cut your own cover.
No, this is pretty early in the game, which I actually
Okay.
liked.
Yeah.
I think the E3 demo felt like it was a little bit farther into the game, and they were just throwing a lot at you.
Mm-hmm.
And this stepped you into the game a little bit more. I really liked the story stuff. I thought the stuff in the prologue and then that first scene.
Does it just anchor it better than what we saw later on?
Yeah, and it just I feel like they're trying to add some emotion to the story, which is always like an interesting. You know, it either works really well or it is terrible.
Well, that seems to be like both Battlefield and Ghosts. They're all saying it's all about trying to get that emotional connection as you murder millions of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they actually do succeed. Like I said, there are some moments where it's like, oh my god, who do I save, who do I don't save? Yes, the story is coming along nicely. I think the story has got a lot of legs to it, which is surprising for a Wolfenstein game. Yeah, the characters, some of them are eminently likable on your team right from the get go. Where it does kind of show a little poorly is, you know, some of the action can feel kind of generic right now. You know, when you find the little hidey hole where you go and you pick up a big weapon, or you find a big cache of armor or whatever, that is cool. Unfortunately, right now, and you know, this was a very annexed little demo. It's few and far between right at the start of the game. So see how it goes.
No regenerating health.
So it's an old school
big
idea.
For
Well,
you know,
but that's
big
also
for,
old school.
I feel like 2013 though, like we never see that anymore.
I got
but
no-
yeah,
I
I
got no
feel
problem
like
with that.
I feel like the gameplay, it felt a little like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't standout, and they could do. It just felt very safe, and I don't know if 2014 is a time to play it safe. By the time it's actually out.
And that's the benefit now. You know, the title has moved into next year, so we'll
see.
what happens.
And did you guys do some Skyrim Online, as you said?
Yes.
Skyrim Online.
Yeah,
It feels like Skyrim. Though,
It
right?
looks like Skyrim Online.
We were
now.
talking
It really
right before
does.
this. I think a lot of people have gotten really, really positive on Elder Scrolls Online, and I think a little bit of it is because when it first debuted, it looked so bad.
I was one of his harshest critics after E3 last year. I remember sitting here on IW and just saying, it looks old and dated, and why the hell are they doing this? And this year's E3 was a big turnaround. We didn't have first person then; we only had third person. But the characters, you know, were coming to life. The questing, the maps, the abilities, everything seems to be pulling together. And now we got to play with first person this time round.
Yep. Yeah, it felt very, very Skyrim. You know, you swing your sword and kill people with a sword, and your swords level up. And
So how does Skyrim work with other people? I guess that's the question.
there
Everyone knows
wasn't
how
much-
Skyrim
The problem
works.
is there wasn't. They threw us into a starting area, so you wash up on a beach and they find your body.
Yeah.
And so you really didn't team up that much.
No,
Soloing.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to team up with anybody, but I think that's a smart move. I think it's one of those things that if they go perhaps the Guild Wars 2 route, where you have these quests that you can also jump into with other people if you want to or if you need to. That's the smart way to do it. It's almost like, you know, it's not forcing you to be a social multiplayer gamer. And anybody who's loved Skyrim and Oblivion and the various other iterations of the Elder Scrolls will want more of Skyrim.
Yeah, no, I think that's an interesting point where I kind of wanted to kind of steer the conversation a little bit is there's been MMOs for a really long time now. EverQuest Next also came out, and its kind of claim is that they're reinventing the MMO, and there's going to be physics, and they're going to have the permanence of like permanence of like a Minecraft stuff where you can dig and make player houses and stuff like that, kind of like an old school, like the original Ultima Online. But there's also this question of where the MMO is. Like, EverQuest kind of set this foundation, even though there's ones that came before it, and then WoW became this juggernaut, and people were saying, I want to be the WoW killer, blah blah blah. But WoW is just bleeding population, even though it still has millions of users. Guild Wars, I played Guild Wars. You played Guild Wars. Did you end up?
No. How I am. I'm terrified of MMOs because I get addicted.
You played all of them.
So.
But that's the thing. Guild Wars is so good, but it's non-addictive. Like they didn't like. Here's the thing. It's like I would play WoW until I was glazed over and looking at my numbers. No, I'd be like listening to movie commentaries and drinking beers on like an iMac.
We would stay after work till 4 a.m. on Friday night and
time to do Scholomance again.
Yeah. Like with 8 of us drinking
Guild Wars
beers,
is so much more like involved, but I was so much easier to walk away from it.
Guild Wars, I think the problem for me with Guild Wars, and I totally agree with you, it is the evolution of the MMO. It does so many things right. The reason it doesn't suck you in, I feel, is it's down to the characters that you interact with, and I'm not talking about the player characters, but the NPCs, the story.
Some people are into it.
I mean, me personally. It just the voiceover and everything. It just yanks me out.
A lot of people also in WoW. They click next.
Yeah.
Click accept on the quest. When you go into an instance, you listen to the dialogue. You kind of get the gist of stuff. But I'm just curious, as like I'm going to bring up of Dark Souls and how Dark Souls with its kind of online, offline modes, and how we're seeing that bought into The Division from Ubisoft. Actually, probably Watch Dogs. Yep. Going back to Test Drive, going to all these sort of games. And just with games having more RPG and being more stat driven, even things like Call of Duty where you level up all your guns, I'm curious if it's kind of like a global subconscious kind of zeitgeist almost, where we've gotten saturated with so many MMO like things that MMOs are never going to be that Pangea that Warcraft was. Because I look at EverQuest Next and I'm like, that stuff looks cool. I look at the Elder Scrolls stuff, I'm like, that looks cool, but it's just not dragging me in anymore as much. And I just wonder if that's more of a thing, or people are like, we're going to get away from tanks and healers and the Holy Trinity.
I mean, it's always the hard part with us, I think, because there's so many games we have to play, and there's so much kind of travel involved that I can't dedicate 20, 30, 40 hours.
That's what the interns
a week to, but to play an MMO. So I always feel like I'm falling behind, and I'm constantly trying to schedule. Like, let's all play on Friday, then someone has to go out of town, or someone's working late. So it's this weird thing, or you're having to jump onto a review, or I'm having to play games for something else. So it's hard for me to get excited about MMOs. So I don't know if is that just a thing where we're not excited as much because we have so many options. So.
I mean, WoW's shedding millions of subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
But you bring up Skyrim. Feels like Skyrim. You had fun playing it solo. Like EverQuest and Final Fantasy XI were very much. You have to be in parties. WoW is like you can solo until you want to do an instance. I think a lot of people are just after. I think about our old boss Todd White. A lot of people are just after like content. I want to just play like a never-ending RPG. And I feel like maybe that's where EverQuest Online can really strike a chord.
Well, I think EverQuest
with the built-in love of it, or not EverQuest. I'm sorry,
I think
Skyrim.
Both games could actually do that. I think the biggest problem we have is that just like we went through World War II shooter fatigue and modern warfare fatigue. I think we're also suffering from swords and sorcery fatigue. I mean, it's fun, but nobody has done anything. I mean, a couple of people have tried to do something outside of that swords and sorcery, genre. That's why I am still hoping at some point either for a Fallout MMO or a Shadowrun MMO. Because that, something that just takes you this step away from the swords and sorcery we love. Because there's only enough space in my life for one swords and sorcery game, MMO, and then I can look at getting, another MMO as well, which is why Fallout is.
So you totally played a lot of Tabula Rasa then?
I'm talking about good ones.
Okay. No, I mean, I dabbled in Secret World, which is trying to do new stuff, but the combat bored me stupid.
That's the point. People have tried it, but they haven't really executed. Nobody's done to a EverQuest or Guild Wars.
EVE Online? Does that count? You're not a masochist?
Look, there are a lot of people who love EVE Online. It's just, again, it's very complex.
Yeah,
especially the barrier to entry. And that was one of the problems with the original PlanetSide. And then PlanetSide 2 came along, and it's just like,
This is where I pitch my dinosaur MMO because we need more dinosaur games.
I'm a
people.
velociraptor.
More dinosaur games.
Yeah, I would agree with dinosaurs. Do you guys see Jurassic Park when it was? Oh no, pop culture. Sorry.
Far
I
Cry
don't know.
Blood Dragon MMO.
I mean, but like if I had to ask you, yes or no, would you say MMOs have gone a little stagnant?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I
Even
mean,
yeah.
with as good as Guild Wars, like I put 40 hours into it, 45 hours, and I stopped. Even though I liked it a lot.
yeah. I mean, we played some Star Wars, right?
Yeah, we
Tor.
played Star Wars. I played Defiance as well.
I totally forgot about Tor. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I-
played
you know.
some Star Wars.
Do you
and it
think
was just-
think things like content-rich games like Watch Dogs with its multiplayer aspects are gonna scratch that itch though?
I mean, for me, it's like I don't know why. Personally, I don't need a Elder Scrolls Online because I still have probably 200 hours of things I could do in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
I beat the game,
but
but
do
it's
you
like
wanna-
there's more to do.
Do you want to
so-
play with friends once in a while though?
Yeah, and I feel like there's games for that though.
I'm just gonna.
Like,
I'm just gonna. In the end, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but again, the Dark Souls mentality, which I think maybe borrows a little bit from like Phantasy Star Online or the Korean MMOs, where it's you and it's solo. But if you want to play with friends, if you want to do some PvP, it's still integrated into the world. And if that had some sort of subscription model where they were doing this rich content ads every couple of months or something like that, would be something I'd be totally into.
Which is also, again, the Guild Wars 2 model.
Yeah, but Guild Wars 2 also does have millions of people walking around with
But
you.
I think that to me is that's the goal for an MMO. I like the fact that yes, I can go off and do my own quests, but it's no hassle to see other people, interact with other people.
yeah, I mean, I'd like more town center type things would be, you go off, you're a lone hero, do your own thing, and then go back and have a more rich environment to interact with people in non-combat ways. Could be
Fallout
interesting.
MMO with the Oculus Rift and a power
Any
glove.
MMO with the Oculus Rift.
And the power
For
gloves.
PvP.
Oh Jesus!
The Lady Glove.
There's this girl. Her name is Lonnie. She gave me this tape and said, "You have got to listen to this."
Have you guys heard of this site called Reddit?
Nope.
They
Is that on the
they
internet?
post,
Is that
like,
an
it's
internet
like
thing?
It's like Dig. Remember Dig? Remember
WW?
Delicious?
Oh yes.
What's it called? Redditch?
Yeah. It's the prequel to the Witches of. No, never mind. Anyway, so last week people said that Left 4 Dead 3 was coming because there was a line of code and a screenshot from a photograph on a wall on a desk in the Valve offices, maybe. But Valve is an interesting company. Dota 2 has officially shipped, which is
Yes.
kind of funny. They tend to have something in the works at any given time that people do know about. I mean, I don't think Left 4 Dead 3 is outside the realm of possibility. Any like initial thoughts? Oh, and there was the Russian site that was registered like 20 days before the thing. So I don't know if that countdown's still going. It was like 16 days a couple days ago.
My thoughts are, I'm sure they're working on it. I'm sure they're working on many things. But can the thing that they talk about first be Half-Life, please?
Yeah, I think everyone wants Half-Life 3.
I think we're all. I think we talked about this beforehand. I think we're at the stage now that we should probably let go of Half-Life 3 because it's been so long between episode 2. Was it Half-Life 2 episode 2 and various other delays and everything. If we get it, we get it. I'm kind of over it. I also think that there might be a mentality around Valve that is like, okay, well, can we even live up to the hype now? Because this has become the holy grail. This is, the treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Well,
I mean,
I
it's
think-
mythical status
I
almost.
wouldn't even care if it didn't live up to the hype at this point. I would just like to see a conclusion.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
think we'd
like,
all
even
like
if
a
the story,
conclusion.
even if it was like Matrix 1 to what was the last one? Reloaded?
Ugh.
Whatever the last Matrix movie was. At least there would be like
Revolutions?
Yeah,
Revulsions. Revulsions. there
yeah,
you go.
at least it'd be like, oh, okay. Like if it's freaking Gordon Freeman like waking up in his dorm room like with drool, at
Sorry,
MIT,
now
at
I-
MIT, and he's like, oh man, I had the coolest dream. I'm gonna go start this company called Valve and make Half-Life.
I just have this
I would
vision.
be okay with that.
No, now I have
want
this vision.
closure.
I have this vision of Gordon Freeman in an underground cave, surrounded by all these Burning Man types going, whoa, 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 and that will just ruin it for me.
No,
You
I
just ruined
think.
it.
I mean, realistically, like they're probably working on the next Source engine, right? And like, I mean, what I'm hoping for is like they're waiting for the next gen
Well,
consoles
is that
to
what
come out.
Titanfall's on or no? I mean, Source is weird, right?
Right.
I mean, engines are even weird. Numbers are like arbitrary. It's marketing for a lot of
Right.
reasons.
But I'm saying, like, I'm assuming they're working on some new engine that is going to work with, be optimized for the next gen consoles. And if
Also,
they're
maybe
gonna-
the Steam box and try
right.
to skip over DirectX.
And if they're going to wait for, if they're going to wait, what are you going to do? I mean, you could, I guess at any point they could just launch Half-Life 3. We could wake up tomorrow and it could be out and it wouldn't matter if people pre-ordered it or not.
It's downloading to everybody with a Steam account.
That'd be amazing. You just wake up and it's pre-downloaded and if you want to buy it to unlock.
Left 4 Dead does work though, right?
No, I think
it's
it works.
multiplayer.
Yeah. I just think...
It's also, I mean, look, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, phenomenally fun. Are we suffering from zombie fatigue? I mean,
We are, but people keep buying it. I mean,
is it still one of the top sellers? I mean, I've had it sit on my
Yeah,
hard
and
drive for
I'd say,
such a long time.
Walking Dead is still, ridiculously
State of
popular.
Left 4
State
Dead
of-
3 is an MMO.
State of Decay was super popular, like
Fair
best-selling
enough.
game on Xbox
Fair
Live.
enough.
Yeah,
So
I-
perhaps
No,
it's
we
just
are,
us
but
who are
then-
suffering from zombie fatigue and not Joe
But we
Public.
still go. You still go into it. I mean, people are still waiting for what's the Arma 3 mod? I want to say the good one, not the bad one.
The Warzy, the
or-
Daisy.
Daisy's the good one. Daisy. Thank you, Chris.
World
I
War
was getting
Z?
confused. Yeah, I mean, zombies are popular, but think about Tony Hawk had a 10-year ride before it burnt out. Guitar Hero had 4 years, 3 years. Plastic
Yeah, I mean, I
Instruments.
think the thing with the zombie stuff is it's all different, right? Like, where Tony Hawk was Tony Hawk each time, but like the zombie.
Well, they had the move.
Oh God, the zombie, but
Skateboard.
like the genres are obviously changed. So yeah, I think if anything, Valve's probably. I'm sure they're working on. I think they have a lot of threes, right? They got Left 4 Dead 3,
Half-Life
Portal
3,
3,
Portal
Half-Life
3.
3.
Perhaps it's going to be one huge mashup.
Left 4 Dead just. I know this is me kind of just being stupid, but like Left 4 Dead 3 just makes a lot more sense. I mean, obviously Half-Life 3 was promised. Portal 3 would be a little weird. It's not like they couldn't do it, but like, hey, it's been a couple years. You had all these great ideas. That's why Left 4 Dead 2 came out within like an Irish twin with like Left 4 Dead 1. But now there's been time. There's new systems. The game's still pretty popular. I feel like all the stuff they've done with Team Fortress with the hats and stuff. I always felt like Left 4 Dead would have been a great game for like cosmetic showmanship. Like do certain things, unlock stuff. Because you play through that game again and again in the way the AI director works. It would be nice to be like look at other people and have some stuff. The crossover DLC was interesting. Like, there is that crazy weird like meta narrative through like the graffiti and stuff like that.
No, I mean I really like the game. I feel like if I want to get my fill of Left 4 Dead, there's so much
Zombie.
and I just want more
You know,
Half-Life.
With
I mean, like all the speculations that like Portal is in the same universe as Half-Life. Like, fine, put out Portal 3, tie in the universes, and then launch Half-Life 3. But I think we're gonna wait. I think they're just waiting to see what's going on with these new consoles. I think they'll probably have something out. Not this.
They
This
debuted,
winter, they'll
they
have
debuted
something. I think they'll
Dota
have-
at Gamescom.
Yeah.
2 years.
Well, they
2 or
have
3 years ago. So
the internationals going to be happening soon.
PAX too, right?
You know, so yeah, there's a possibility for them to announce stuff. I think even if they do announce stuff, we wouldn't see a new product till next year, just because unless it's going to be current gen.
one last bit of speculation. The Left 4 Dead countdown is registered in Russia. One of the reasons is their WHOIS registries are way more private, I believe.
Yeah, but why
Left 4
wouldn't that
Left-
just be on like Valve's front page?
Left 4 Dead for Russia. Who knows? I mean, it could be
Right.
part of
Left-
a
Left
marketing
4
thing.
Dead Chernobyl?
Left 4 Dead in Russia. I mean, that would be, an interesting take as well. I mean, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, switch up the
I
characters.
keep thinking of what was that movie? 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
at the end of 28 months later, they're coming through the channel. Like
Yeah.
that, France. But like kind of idea of like it's something spreading out or seeing like another region. I don't know. Would be interesting.
Who knows? It may be a total bait and switch because Valve are very clever when it comes to a lot of marketing stuff. Maybe this thing counts down and Half-Life 3 and Portal and
all the threes.
all
are
the threes
same
come together.
universe.
Gordon Freeman
Portal
is
is in the
GLaDOS'
same
dad,
universe.
and they're battling zombies together.
Portal is in the same universe.
I'm just saying, but now they're bringing Left.
So is
Yeah, but
Left 4 Dead is as well. We
Is
don't
it?
know. I don't know. Maybe.
Let's ask the internet.
yeah,
I'm
they'll
sure
tell
there's
us.
something there.
I'm sure it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, he will
It's
tell us.
like,
What if Aperture Science invented the zombies?
it's all Wheatley's fault.
Oh,
He created the zombies.
you guys liked Journey, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are referring to the PlayStation game and not the 80s group.
I was
the same
actually
name?
referring to both simultaneously. I was trying to save words. So
Yeah.
but I figured the answer would be yes. So I just played this game called Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which I think is a stupid subtitle for a game called Brothers. But it was really
You know what I
good.
mean?
How many
Stupider.
brothers do you have?
I have a brother.
What about
You have a sister.
Yeah. Would you play this game with your brother?
No, the game. I got lit up for not mentioning that the game is not cooperative. The game is it's a co-op game you play with yourself. Even though I guess you could share one controller.
Yeah, we could play together, right?
I think
Like,
Micro Machines on the NES you could do that. But in a nutshell, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. This is he doesn't like playing with other people.
I just like playing with myself, as anybody on the internet will attest to.
That's why they're on the internet.
Well, you grasp your controller and you work the thumbs in a circular. Anyway, the game's kind of little gimmick is you control two dudes, each guy individually with the sticks, and then you solve a bunch of easy puzzles, a couple little action sequences. But the game builds up it's Starbreeze, the guys who a billion years ago did Riddick, more recently did the Syndicate that
Darkness.
Darkness 1. Yep.
But that's actually, I think that's, from what I've led to believe, especially
team's
after
way
QuakeCon,
smaller now.
it's way smaller because the majority of the Riddick people are now doing machine games, which is now Wolfenstein. Interesting factoid, apparently.
The show comes around.
Yeah.
This game really, really surprised me. I mean, that's the thing I'm trying to get across the most is like you first play it and the game starts off like a lot of games kind of simple. And the kind of when the graphics kind of go up close, it's kind of whatever. You're in like a little village, but the game has a really nice progression. It has a real sort of, it's not trying to really shock you in any way, but it is still shocking in this weird kind of old school fairy tale sense where it's not so like sugary. There is like
An edge of darkness.
yeah, but it's also not trying to be this thing that beats you over the head with it. It's more like when you were a kid, if you ever actually read like the real fairy tales, they were often had like these dark edges and this plain language.
So it's more like the Brothers Grimm type fairy
Yeah.
tales as opposed to Hansel and Gretel, the movie
It's
that
not
we saw
Disney.
this year.
I didn't see that.
It
You
was
saw that.
hot. It was on. I watched.
saw that?
I watched it on. I watched
bring that
it.
up in the
I actually
next
watched it on a plane. It was free. I watched it on a plane and it was awful.
I would
But this
sleep is worth more to me than watching that movie.
But it's interesting, I listen to a lot of I listen to the guys who made the Walking Dead Telltale game, and they're like, one of the reasons that we made our game kind of easy, and people argue about the puzzle stuff, not being like a real adventure game, is they want to tell the story, but they also want it's episodic. They also want people to buy the next episode.
Right.
There's some kind of capitalist integrity here, and I felt Brothers was the same way. But Brothers has an interesting workaround where everything's easy. But the left brain, right brain kind of split hemisphere thing makes it just actually mechanically fun to goof around with. When we were cutting the review, there's all these shots where like one guy's running the right direction and the other guy kind of just like running into a wall. And
That's
you're like,
funny.
what are you doing? And you get better as the game progresses, but it feels good in a way like when you're playing a fighting game and you pull off like a combo. But it's also all in service to a story. And I'm going to try not to spoil anything, but even the mechanics at one point directly tie into the story, and it's genius level kind of integration. It's a short game. It's 4 hours, and they're asking $15, and they're getting, Journey was a short game as well.
Yep. Does it have much replayability? Like Journey was one of those things that I wanted to jump back in and play
But
again.
people that argue that Journey's not a game, it's like getting all the scarf segments and
Yeah.
stuff. There was this game
Right.
aspect to it, just like how The Walking Dead has the kind of the story choices and stuff like that. This game, you can beat it with 0 achievements. All the achievements are Easter eggs. It's all you doing extra stuff. So there is this kind of fun way to go back and ferret out these weird extra scenes.
Cool.
It is the weirder question when you always kind of talk about value for a game. And I feel like if it delivers an overall experience, it can be worth
Can I
worth
say
it.
I really like that idea of beating a game without achievements
I
because
feel, did you play
Isn't that an achievement?
Last of Us?
yeah,
There was like none. I mean, there was collecting stuff, but like only for like
Yeah.
beating the game. There was no like,
Beat that
It's
chapter.
like, well
you
done.
got
You've
this.
gone through a level. Have one of these.
Right.
That to me, and I'm experiencing that right now in a couple of games I'm playing. But Yeah, achievements don't feel like achievements anymore. I mean, obviously, there are some really hard to get ones that are really for the pure completionist or whatever, but some of those are way out of the way. I'd actually like to, I like it when the achievements are, I feel like I have actually done something to get to this
all
point.
those progression
not
achievements,
just
like I just beat this chapter, I just did this. That's all.
They're horrible.
But that's all marketing research
You beat-
for the studios.
You beat
to
Gears
know how far you made it into the game. Did you play it co-op? Did you play it with every level co-op? Did you only play the first? Like, that's all.
Well, how awful is it when you beat a game and it's like you've unlocked 7 achievements? You know, that one message that pops up and you're like, okay, you beat it on easy, very easy, normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beat the last chapter, beat the game.
But I am
Gears did
actually
that.
more angry though when you beat it on normal and you don't get the easy achievement, because then you're like, really?
Yeah.
Like, or if you beat it on hard, then you don't get the achievements under it.
I do agree with you. I think beating a game and having a mark that you beat the game is fine, but I do like everyone. I know everyone points to it as like the example, but pacifism in Geometry Wars.
Yep.
It asks you to play the game differently.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was kind of an interesting way. You know, a lot of people had to make their own fun. Now you have to kind of goad them into it. But it was an interesting tool. I'm playing Gone Home right now, which is a completely narrative-driven game, and I keep finding punk rock band pins, like that you would like put on your shirt, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I found them all, but it doesn't matter.
For our
You can't even
European
put them in an
people, pins are
inventory.
badges, by the way.
Badges, yes.
Just trying to help.
No, thank you. My friend lived in Glasgow for a while, and she's like, I got all these badges, and I was thinking like
E3
merit badges
badges.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, we call them badges.
But I don't know. I still like to see like narratively driven games, but I also love when mechanics kind of work their way in and kind of have a marriage of something.
That's the other thing I want to play is Papers, Please. I know everyone's talking about that.
Where you're the
right now.
border custom
Yeah.
guard, there's some cool stuff, and I mean, just kind of open it up as we have a couple more minutes. I was just curious if there's anything maybe that isn't always the biggest game, but did have like a story impact or maybe even a mechanical impact in the last couple years that you thought a lot of people didn't maybe get to kind of jump in with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Try to blindside.
Yeah, totally
that.
blindside us there. I mean, it's. Look,
I'm currently going through my game collection
I know you just
right
played
now.
Deadpool.
I know. Hey, I needed something light after Last of Us.
I'm
It was
actually
like-
visually looking at the shelf in my games room that has the games I played in the last 2 years, and then I have to go call up my Steam screen in my head as well. It's one of those ones where it kind of blurs. And I mean,
not to rehash Journey too much, but I mean, like, what did you guys actually like? I did not cry in The Last of Us. Did either of you?
I got a little teary-eyed.
I said,
got a little-
shit, but
got a little teary.
I got a little blubbery at the beginning of The Last of Us.
But-
Journey
Yeah.
was a prime
I
example of
was gonna
something
ask,
that
did,
was.
like, did Journey get the kind of that
Yeah.
lump in the throat?
Well, yeah,
sort of, like,
you know,
emotional response.
especially honestly that level, and I'm sure that we're far enough beyond the release date now. I'm not going to spoil it, but the level where you're literally struggling through the snow and the wind is howling down in the mountaintops. That to me was like, I felt sorry for my character. I mean, I just wanted to reach in and give it a hug because, I mean, struggling through, crap's getting blown left, right, and center, and bits of the scarf are flying away every time I get hit by something. And it felt, very atmospheric. I mean, emotional stuff again, The Walking Dead by Telltale. I mean, that was, I've said it before, I've said it again, prime example of how great writing, somewhat simplistic gameplay with regards to multiple choice, great character acting, they combine to deliver this emotion that you rarely get from a lot of games. And, I'll go back to Mass Effect 2. I also thought that one had a lot of, not necessarily gameplay mechanics that were outstanding, but I would say it had a lot of emotion with my version of Shepard. Yeah. And, the Liara and the various other people that I interacted with, so...
Yeah, I'm curious because you said you wanted to help your Journey character. Do you ever draw like a line between you and them? Because you just said it was like my Shepherd, my Journey character. I mean, do you ever feel like there's a tighter connection?
Well, I think there is, especially, and this goes back to role-playing games. Mm-hmm. I think especially with an RPG, you do build up, and that's why I had such an allergic reaction to, what happened with Mass Effect 3, because my femshep came from Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2, right. And Mass Effect 2 was still one of my favorite games of all time, and I did not feel that I was getting my my character's just desserts. And that's what I love about MMOs and the RPGs in general, because you are investing. You do put time into what your character looks like, your personality traits, how you're going to play within your class or just outside a class, or if you're going to be an arsehole, if you're going to be a nice person, if you're going to skip down that that fine line there, shades of grey. And that's the beauty of games to me, because it's better than a movie, because it's not me watching, Brad Pitt do something or Tom Cruise or whoever. It's my creation in this world. Admittedly, it's a creation that's built together from parts created by programmers and writers and everything, but it's still put together in a way that I can, I am proud of and I am enjoying being part of. And that's the beauty of games for me.
Yeah, I'd say the last thing that maybe was a little more I was surprised by, or that I had, didn't think mechanically, was Guacamelee. Just had like a good, like...
What aspect?
Just going back, like, so many people have tried to do that kind of old school Mega Man 2 style, like, super hard gameplay.
The treetops?
And, like, the treetops and the challenge rooms.
Yeah.
And to the point where, like, you'd get just far enough, and I don't know how many times I've just yelled fuck at my TV as I would like fall back down.
Yeah.
But you always felt like you were getting just a little bit farther, because those games, like, if you don't do that stuff exactly right, it's the most frustrating experience. But if you kind of keep inching farther along each time, like, it's give me just enough to keep me going. And I ended up talking about games that for achievements, like, ended up 100%ing that game.
You got a platinum?
Well, no, but just like unlocked like the whole thing. I have to go back and do all that,
like hard mode or something.
But yeah, I think there's like hard mode and stuff. But like in terms of like unlocking the whole map, like those challenge rooms, I really, really wanted to do, and I hadn't. The last time I tried something that ridiculously annoying was having to replay Mega Man 2 and those invisible blocks and throwing the controller down and screaming that it was a child's game and walking away.
I always felt like you guys remember the first Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Remember the
wax
on, wax off? I always felt like old school 2D games kind of did that too. When we were playing for the April Fools, when I was replaying the Sunsoft Batman game, I was tearing my hair out. I'm like, how did I beat this game as a kid? Sometimes I almost had to call in Damiani as a ringer.
Oh no.
So I also want to make an announcement. I have not played Animal Crossing in 2.5 weeks.
Oh my god!
I even took my DS to QuakeCon last week.
I
picked up a bunch of street passes, but I mean, unfortunately, hanging around with Hoffman last week, we ended up just playing Monster Manor and.
That's the problem I'm having right now with the with Animal Crossing and the 3DS, and I know we're trying to wrap up the show. Is there's so much tedious stuff I have to go through. You're like, I mean, we're lucky that we work at an office and there's a ton of people that have
street passes.
So it's like every day there's 10 street passes, and now there's 6 games you have to play, and then I have to go and shake all my trees and dig all my holes, and I'm like, I can't do this for 3 hours.
Gotta outsource it, man.
Can I get an intern?
Did Penelope find a nice home?
I know. I offered. No one wanted Penelope. Penelope was moving out of my town. I offered to give her away to someone in the office. No one wanted Penelope.
But yeah, I think I'm over Animal Crossing. I'm enjoying the Street Pass stuff more than the multiple games though.
Yep.
Cool beans. And let's plug some stuff. Your Pop Culture Clash is going to be Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna try to move it to Saturday this week. Give it a little try. I will. I'm going to be heading down to D23 in Anaheim, the Disney convention. So I know we want to talk speculation with that, and
I'm not though.
Elysium and other things. So
our views on the Wolverine movie, the new Doctor Who announcement. What else? Book club.
So we got some stuff, and then we're also planning some PAX stuff right now.
Yeah. Marcus, and what's the latest with AG, Noid Gamer?
AG is on hiatus until PAX, and I'm
beans.
making the announcement here because a lot of people have been asking me over Twitter. If you come to the GameTrailers PAX panel at 6:30 on the Friday night in Unicorn Ballroom, I believe.
Unicorn Theater.
Unicorn Theater. I said corrected. You will see new stuff from Carl Bosman, new stuff from Mike Damiani, and you will see the new iteration of Annoyed Gamer Season 2, reworking some stuff. And I might have shaved by then as well, because I'm not shaving until PAX, actually. So there you go.
No touch beards.
Nope.
No, we'll get stuck together.
Yep.
And the static will blow all the microphones. We've only got 3 left.
Oh.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.